Although the first battle of Geonosis was recognized to be an overwhelming victory for the Galactic Republic, the Jedi and its newly created clone army actually had a chance to stop and end the Clone Wars in its first battle, but failed. In the Canon Book, Star Wars Battles That Changed the Galaxy, the first battle of Geonosis, which of course involved the CIS and the Republic, is shown in detail, and how the Republic missed its vital opportunity to halt the Clone War conflict before it even really began is broken down perfectly. Let's get right into it. The opening battle of the Clone Wars was a chaotic and confused engagement on Geonosis. The former Jedi Count Dooku had become the leader of the Confederacy of Independent Systems, aiming to break from the perceived bureaucratic and corrupt rule of the Galactic Republic in Coruscant. Having discovered a secret clone army being created on Kamino, the Jedi Knight Obi-Wan Kenobi tracked the original genetic donor to Geonosis, where he witnessed a convention between Dooku and the leaders of the various galactic companies that were making plans to succeed from the Republic. Beneath Geonosis' surface, huge factories were building thousands of battle droids for use against the Republic. Kenobi relayed this information back to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant shortly before his capture. In response to this news, the Republic Senate voted for Supreme Chancellor Palpatine to be given emergency powers to convert the clone army into a Grand Army of the Republic. Jedi Grand Master Yoda moved to requisition the clones, while Master Mace Windu gathered a strike force to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi. As the Separatist leadership watched the attempted execution of Kenobi and his fellow prisoners Anakin Skywalker and Senator Padme Amidala, the Jedi infiltrated the main arena. Master Windu's arrest of Dooku was interrupted by the arrival of dozens of battle droids, and the two sides entered combat. The Jedi were on the verge of being overwhelmed when Master Yoda arrived with the clone army to evacuate them from the arena and swing the battle in the Republic's favor. The arrival of the Jedi at the arena on Geonosis proved to be the opening move in the Clone Wars. While some of the more 200 Jedi to arrive on the planet secured their landing site, the majority snuck into the arena during the attempted execution of Senator Amidala, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Anakin Skywalker, where they waited for the perfect moment to intervene. Master Mace Windu's move to arrest Count Dooku was the signal for the Jedi to act, and by igniting their lightsabers in the arena stands, they caused chaos among the watching Geonosians. However, the arrival of super battle droids forced the two sides into conflict. The Jedi Order had not fought in a battle in such numbers since the days of the High Republic, and the short-range nature of their lightsabers proved prohibitive against blaster-wielding battle droids. While the droids were not programmed with any great tactical ability, the sheer numbers of them, and the rate at which they could fire, acted as a potentially decisive force multiplier. Although the Jedi could redirect shots back at their opponents, the volume of incoming fire made such precision difficult. The Jedi were then forced to abandon their positions within the stands and descend to the arena floor to close the distance with the attacking droids. As a result, they were rapidly surrounded and suffered heavy casualties. The droid assault was paused so Count Dooku could offer the chance for his surrender, an offer that was refused by Mace Windu. However, the sudden arrival of Grand Master Yoda and the first waves of the clone army allowed the surviving Jedi to be rescued, initiating the next phase of the battle. As the Battle of Geonosis moved beyond the arena, it became clear that there were significant command and tactical issues facing both forces. For the Republic, the clone army had been well trained, but never really tested in battle. The surviving Jedi had previously identified themselves as keepers of the peace, not soldiers, and though the clone troopers deferred to them, the lack of tactical and military training in the Jedi Order showed. For the Separatists, the appearance of the Republic forces caused the leaders of the Trade Federation to attempt an immediate evacuation of their command spheres from the planet's surface. While there were many battle droids available to combat the Republic, the majority of the Separatist military resources had already been loaded aboard these vessels and were now liable to be destroyed if they could not escape. Neither side was able to fully deploy in time for a pitched battle, and the main forces engaged each other around the Trade Federation landing zones. The Republic had a clear advantage in air support, and were able to use low-altitude assault transports, or LAATs, to deploy clones and Jedi directly into battle, while also undertaking aerial attacks on Separatist ships. The Separatists then sent columns of battle droids into action against the Republic to slow down their forward offenses. While lacking the autonomy or creativeness of the clone troopers, the Separatist battle droids were a known military technology It could be largely relied upon to follow orders without question and use mass fire against the enemy. The deployment of OG-9 spider droids and hailfire droids to the front lines also provided the Separatists with heavy firepower. Though the clones could outfight the Separatists, every Jedi that was killed in the process caused further disruption to the Republic command structure and restricted their operations. Once the Jedi prisoners had been rescued from the arena, the main objective of the Republic forces became unclear. Jedi leading from the front began to cut through battle droids, but to no obvious end. These small units were unable to overwhelm the opposition or prevent the ongoing evacuation. Additionally, the further forward they pressed, the harder it became for Republic artillery to provide support without risking losses to friendly fire. There still existed two routes to a war-ending victory for the Republic: the destruction of the Separatist battle force, either on the ground or while fleeing, or the capture of the main Separatist leaders, such as Count Dooku and Pog the Lesser. However, neither of these were achieved. Concentrated fire from deployed artillery turbo lasers brought down some of the spheres, but most escaped the surface. The Republic's failure to establish a tangible orbital blockade allowed for a full Separatist retreat. While Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and Grand Master Yoda would attempt to counter Count Dooku, the lack of a concerted effort meant that he was able to defeat and distract the Jedi. He escaped the planet, taking with him the initial plans for the superweapon that would one day become the Death Star, without the Republic ever knowing those plans had ever been there or existed. Also, the cyborg Separatist General Grievous escaped through the hive tunnels beneath Geonosis, leaving no survivors to speak of his existence. Though the Republic gained control of Geonosis, its perceived strategic significance soon waned. The factories could not be converted to produce material for the clone army. The Republic had now achieved an initial victory of sorts in its first battle, but had missed their only opportunity to end the war in a single stroke. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and learned something new, please like and subscribe. And remember, the Force will be with you, always.